Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Glenn, and this is the first video of my channel. I'm a trader. I trade forex pairs, indices, commodities, and stocks. So pretty much everything. I do a little bit of options trading here and there, but not too huge on options right now currently. And I'm starting this channel to talk about potential symbols or forex pairs or whatever it is that I think are interesting in the weeks in the markets. So maybe discuss some trade ideas, discuss some things that I think are going to be interesting in that week or in that day. Now, I don't know exactly if I will upload daily, but I'll definitely try and maybe get a couple of videos uploaded throughout the week of things that are very interesting to me. So a little bit of a background about me as a trader. I started trading about 4.5 years ago, and actually I started learning about trading 4.5 years ago, and I've been trading with real money for about 4 years now. And I became a profitable trader in 2023. So ever since then, I was kind of scaling up my portfolio and including more things to trade. I was learning about all that stuff, and I'm at a comfortable point where I'm profitable as a trader, and I have a set rule set that I trade with, and I would like to discuss and share some of my knowledge and also have a discussion in the community about, well, trading. That's what I'm passionate about. That's what I like doing. So here we go. This week's market is very interesting. There's a couple of charts that I want to talk about. The first one being on the top here, the UJ, the US dollar, and Japanese yen trade. And when we're looking at this market right now, you can see we are breaking out, as we speak, we are breaking out of a level that was a channel basically. You can see the market is currently breaking out from this trend line. And the idea I wanted to talk about was, if the markets were to come to this level, I would be getting long this level, and I will also be getting long down here. So I would be going in with small positions, more of like dollar cost average approach, and then looking to take this thing to these levels and maybe to even potentially these highs over here. So that was my idea, but you can see the market did not come to this level, as markets do, and you can never really predict everything that's going on in the market. So I will be trying to get long on a pullback to these levels back here. Maybe when we have this level broken, in this trend level broken, you can see we broke from the previous low that was supposed to act as resistance at this point for this trend line, but we broke above, and maybe we might get a retracement back to a level like this, in which I would be interested in getting long. And actually, let me adjust my alert here. So I might be getting long there. I might place some trades around there. Also, another idea that I'm really interested in is the Swiss yen. And this is another pair. The overall idea right now for me is I am very short on the Japanese yen because we have economic data supporting that the yen is a little bit weaker right now compared to some of the currencies that we're talking about here, for example, US dollar. Now, to be fair, I don't have a super strong bias towards US dollar as well because of mixed economic data. If I pull out the fundamental analysis software that I use for my trading, it's the Edgefinder. It's a wonderful software created by a guy called Trader Nick. I will leave a link down below in the description to find all about the software if you want to grab a copy of it. But if we take a look at the US dollar right now, US economic data, right here, you can see that the US dollar is pretty mixed right now, because we have some stuff that's coming out as bearish for the dollar and some stuff that's coming out as bullish for the dollar. So when I'm executing my yen idea, I don't want to get restricted or limited to the US dollar. So that's why I'm going along on some other pairs against some other currencies compared to the yen. As I'm short yen, I'm looking to basically short yen on a basket of other currency pairs. So one of them is Swiss yen, which is really interesting chart right now, because we are having a pullback right here, but we have major support levels up above in these 178 levels, and I would be really interested in getting long if we see a breakout and maybe a pullback, and I will be getting long on pullback opportunities around this area here at 178 level. So that's another idea supporting my Swiss yen. I was also looking to go long on the Kiwi yen, the New Zealand dollar yen pair, but right now this chart is not looking too great to me. Honestly, because it's a little bit choppy and we had some gaps right here as well. So I'm not really looking to go long on this pair. You can see that it didn't even come to this level before it bounced back up, and a potential long opportunity, maybe a longer term speaking, maybe if we break through this level right here and we see a pullback, we might be I might be entering on these levels. If we get a pullback, a break above and a pullback would be a great opportunity to get long on the Kiwi yen pair. But right now I'm not really focusing on that pair. But what I am focusing on though is the euro pound pair. Now this is another very interesting chart. I think we saw some pretty good movement in this chart because of the tariff talks that came into fruition on Friday. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Donald Trump tweeted, well, not tweeted, he posted on Truth Social, I think, that he's going to be announcing 50% tariff on the EU region. And that, what he does is already economic data wise, you can see if I go to the economic data section in the Edgefinder, you can see the British pound is pretty strong compared to the euro right now, because of host of different economic factors. And because of this was already a very good trade. But what's coming into play at this point is that the UK has already signed trade agreements with the US, and the EU is still on the ledge. They're still on the fence on what to happen in terms of trades to the United States. Now, this is a very interesting dynamic. We saw prices drop on all major indices, especially things like the DAX on last Friday. If you take a look at DAX real quick, the German 40 index, you can see a sharp bounce, a sharp contraction, a corrective move back down to these levels that we broke above on Tuesday. And we are back above these levels again. Because of the tariffs has been paused. Trump announced that tariffs will be paused, and since this announcement has gone out, the DAX is actually back to the levels that it was trading on before this thing happened on Friday. But with that being said, the European Union is still on the fence when it comes to trade deals with the United States, and this is a very important thing, because what it does, it kind of provides a more of a security towards the UK compared to the EU, because without finalizing trade agreements, that gives a certain level of uncertainty towards the EU countries, and that also makes this trade maybe a little bit more attractive than just purely talking fundamentals, right? And that's another thing that I would be interested in going to be trading. So what is the trade idea here? So if we take a look at the yen trading, not the yen, sorry, the pound trading idea, I would be really interested in shorting the euro. Basically, that means shorting this pair, shorting the euro pound pair, because you can see the trend lines right here for this pair, and it's been on a downward trend. And what would be really interesting in this case scenario is actually if we can break above these levels right here. If we can break below these, break below these levels and get a retracement, that would be a potential opportunity to ride these back to maybe the weekly lows that we hear. So we have all this space to fill here. So it would be really interesting to see if we could maybe get back to these levels at about 705 level. And that's going to be a really great trade. And maybe it's a little ways away right now, the euro pound trade, but I'll be really interested and looking forward to see where the price leads in terms of trend here. But you can see right now it's testing this short-term trend that we've been forming to the upside, but we saw heavy rejection from these levels, and we'll be looking out for this trade right here. Another trade that's very interesting to me right now is the Australian dollar Kiwi dollar trade. And this is also backed by the fact that these two economies are having a contradiction right now. If you go to the Edge Finder and look at these pairs in terms of fundamental data, you can see that, we'll give it a second to load here, but you can see that the New Zealand dollar has not been doing so hot. And we saw sharp declines here, and we've been trading in this channel right here. So you can see the price has been fluctuating in between these channels with a high of about 0.15 and the lows of like 1.0. So it's be very interesting to see if we can break below these levels. And you can see that we are testing a level of previously broken support and now acting as resistance here, and we're kind of rejecting off of this level. But where it would be really interesting to me is if we could break below these levels, break below these lows right here, holding as support. Well, it held once, twice, and 3 times, almost 4 times here. If we can break below these levels, it'd be really interesting to kind of see if we can get pullback and maybe try to go short on the pair. And I would be, in that case, I'll be entering at 2 times. I'll be taking an entry on the break of this level, and then maybe on a pullback with small position sizes. So I might be able to ride this thing back down to these levels for a good chunk of profit. And when it comes to indices, they're looking really nice. I'm actually long the Russell. I wanted to get long maybe on the US 30, but I didn't really like the chart here where it was heading. Maybe a trade like this would have been nice, but I didn't really get long on the US 30, and went instead long on the Russell. And another reason why Russell looks very interesting is because we are still kind of ways away from the highs from where we were trading back here at 2472 level. And if you take a look at NASDAQ or S&P 500, you can see we're very close to the highs that we were trading on the S&P. Actually, on the NASDAQ, you can see we are about maybe around 4%, almost 4% away from these previous highs, all-time highs that we've been trading at. So those are very interesting pairs, but on NASDAQ, I would need a pullback, maybe about a level like this to potentially go long. Same idea with S&P 500. We might actually be getting those pullbacks this week, towards the end of this week. But again, a lot of the stocks right now, especially when it comes to US stocks, are kind of hanging off of the tariff deals that are happening, the discussions that are happening, and will be catalysted by all those things on tariffs. And one thing that we've seen performing extremely well, I would say, is the FTSE, the UK 100 index. This, in my opinion, had one of the best kind of projections from this. Well, it held support really nicely to the upside and really attracting pair right now. And I would be interested in going long if we could maybe get a pullback back down to these levels, or if you can break above these highs and potentially pulling back and going for a higher level in the FTSE index. So that's another interesting idea. I was long on JR40, the DAX. I closed out the trade when the pullback happened for about right here. I think I went long in these levels and kind of rode it way over here, and maybe took profit around this area. So it was a really good trade. But yeah, I gave back some of the profit when the pullback happened on Friday, which is unfortunate because none of us probably saw that coming. So yeah, those are my ideas for indices, and gold is also really interesting. Right now, we are resisting off of this level that we've been seeing, kind of a trend line here. And gold is not really that attractive right now because of all the economic data. And I do think that gold is very interesting in Trump's terms, because whether you like Trump or not, he's a little bit uncertain. He's unpredictable. So I think gold is going to be a very long-term trade in the markets when it comes to President Trump's term. But I do think that gold is kind of overextended right now. It doesn't mean that it can't go higher. It just means I'm not really thrilled to go long at these levels currently where it's sitting. But if we were to get a pullback to maybe these levels, or maybe these levels, even lower price differences, I would be interested in going long on gold. But then at these points, I will be evaluating what are the fundamentals that maybe will drive gold higher, and if it is a possibility that we could see gold popping back up. Same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is kind of overextended to be long, even though I am pretty long on Bitcoin. I would be interested to see if we can get a pullback to maybe this level, or a clean break and a retest would be a really good opportunity for upside. So those are the trades that I'm looking at this week. And thank you everyone for listening and tuning in. I will see you guys on the next video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and share with all your friends that are trading. It'd be really interesting to have a discussion down in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.